Awesome. Okay. I don't really, gratitude. I didn't know gratitude could grow, but that's what's happened now. I've never been swimming in this level of a ocean of gratitude that I have for this very moment. And it just serves me up right to have the next person be the one that I get to introduce at this time. So there's a lot of things I could say about Jackie Simmons. Jackie has been, in some ways, the matriarch, and maybe that's an unfair statement, but there's something very special about who Jackie has been in this course from the very beginning. Jackie arrived here having seen me at a conference at a summit where I spoke. And after that, we got in touch quickly. And Jackie is Katie's mom. Jackie is also teen suicide prevention and is up to a million things in the world and has made many referrals for me, including the team that is building our next summit out. Jackie and I have, had multiple conversations, both on and off the course, looking at how we might be able to advance this conversation forward in both of our worlds and in our world collectively. A true powerhouse beyond words. Jackie doesn't hold back on what's important to her and has made that her life. The world, according to Jackie, she boldly calls her podcast. And she knows that there's something really innately insightful about calling a podcast that. And the impact and power that Jackie Simmons brings into every conversation cannot be overstated. There's everyone who has ever been in a conversation where Jackie has spoke has been affected by that particular, whatever came out of Jackie's mouth at that time. Also an exquisite listener and an unbelievable commitment to the futuring of humanity. So with that, on the heels of everything else that we've been doing, including like boldly coming in behind Sanyika Street, I now introduce you to Jackie Simmons.
Make sure you unmute, Mom.
It's a detail. Okay, so now that I'm not talking to myself, hello and welcome to the world according to Jackie. Did you know that you had your own world? That you're here on this planet, uniquely you, and you are here to design the world in your image. It is your God-given right. And it is incumbent upon you today to do that as fast as possible because the world needs you now more than it ever has. So I want to take you on a very fast journey. I want to give you my 4 rules that dial down the drama of every situation you walk into if you decide to apply them. And then I want to take you on the 4 truth path out of a place that you may have been living without even knowing that you've been living there. And that place is called Shouldville. Shouldville, that place you go when you should on yourself, or you should on others, or other people should on you, and you buy into it. And then I'm going to take you into my passion. And I have a gift for you for being here. So hang on, the ride gets more interesting from here. I hope you have something to write with and to write on. I start every class I ever teach, every place I ever go with these 4 rules. The first rule, whatever time we get started is the right time. And it doesn't matter whether I'm hosting the summit or I'm a guest on the summit or the guest on a radio show. Whatever time we get started is the right time. The second rule, whoever shows up are the right people. By the way, this dials down the drama for everybody in the room. The third rule, you're going to love this one. You ready? Whatever we get done is enough. And the fourth rule, when it's over, it's over. Take the lesson and move on. No attachment to the outcome. What would your life be like if you had no attachment to the outcome? I'm about to help you get there because attachment to the outcome is the fastest path to Shouldville. And Shouldville is a dark, dank place where lives get lived and dreams go to die. I got a game for getting out of Shouldville, but you got to be willing to play fast today. Are you ready? I'm going to read something out loud, and I want you to put a number in the chat. If what I say is true for you, put a 10. If what I say is not true for you, put a 1. Put yourself on that scale. You got that? 10 is true. 1 is not true. I haven't started yet, Barbara. Oh, some people. All right, here we go. Here's the first statement. Every penny I have ever spent was well spent. 10 is true. 1 is not true. What's your number? What's your spectrum? Every penny I have ever spent was well spent. Now I'm going to give you the rest of the story. Here we go. Give yourself a number, same scale. 1 is not true. 10 is totally true. Every penny I have ever spent was well spent, even if I would not choose to spend a penny that way today. What's your number now? Every penny I ever spent was well spent, even if I would not choose to spend a penny that way today. Let's get you free from guilt around your money, because that is why your money is being held hostage by somebody else. It's because you have this uncomfortable, constricting emotion around it, around how you've handled it, around how you've spent it. So we just erase that if you're willing to say this out loud, and you don't have to write these down. We've got a PDF for you. Okay, you're going to get it in the chat in just a minute. Here's the second one. You ready? Same scale. 10 is true. 1 is not true. Anywhere on the scale. Every second I have ever lived was well lived. Is that true for you? Not so true for you? You ever think you wasted time on something? You know, if you wasted time, that number gets lower. So put it in the chat. Every second I have ever lived was well lived. Now, here comes the other side. Every second I have ever lived was well lived, even if I would not choose to live a second that way today. That changed things a little bit for you? This is called freedom from regret. The first one was freedom from guilt around money. This is freedom from regret about what you've done, how you've spent your time. Here's the next one. This is going to be a toughie. Every word I ever read, every word a teacher ever said was useful. 10 is true. 1 is not true. You're somewhere on that scale. Pick a number. Here we go. We're about to knock it out of the park. Every word I ever read, every word a teacher ever said was useful, even if I disagree with it. What's your number now? That is freedom from judgment. You stop making other people wrong. You stop making yourself wrong when you read this out loud and often. That's why we're giving you the PDF. Here's the fourth one, and this is the one that changed how I viewed the world. Oh, by the way, when I first wrote these, I knew nothing about positive psychology. I didn't know how the brain worked. And they started out with, no money I've ever spent was wasted. No minute I've ever lived was lost. No word I've ever lived was useless. And the positive psychology people got a hold of me and said, your subconscious mind can't hear the word no. These are not affirmations. These are not a good idea. So I started rewriting them. The last sentence was originally, no person I ever met was evil. And not only did the positive psychology group get a hold of me, but every person who had ever experienced horrific things at the hands of another human being said, there are people who are evil. And I said, okay, I'll rewrite them. And that's how the 4-Truth Path out of Shouldville got written, not because I'm so smart, but because there were enough people willing to get in my face and tell me I might want to change what I was doing. So preponderance of evidence, I changed it. And now the last one is, every person I ever met enriched my life in some way. Scale of 1 to 10, 10 is true, 1 is not true. Where are you in the moment? Because it's about to get a little easier. I know my landmark people, trust me. Here you go. Every person I ever met enriched my life in some way, even if I would not choose to spend a second with them today. By the way, my grandpa was a preacher, just in case you can't tell. So, scale of 1 to 10. If that is true for you, and now you will be free from the scourge of the world, are you ready? Every person I ever met enriched my life in some way, even if I would not choose to spend a second with them today. That is freedom from blaming other people. That is freedom from blaming other people for who we are today. I am an advocate for you to take back control of who you are and not let it be anybody else's responsibility, but only your own. It is about the decisions you are making today, but here's the problem. Everything you think, everything you take action on are based on the belief systems you have, who you believe you are, how you believe the world is, who you believe you can be in the world. And those decisions were made at a time you don't even remember. They were made in your brain before your brain was fully developed. You did not have a prefrontal cortex. You did not have the ability to rationalize. You did not have a pause button. You didn't have perspective. So I want you to forgive yourself for everything you've ever thought about yourself. And when your inner critic starts showing up, I want you to remember to read these 4 truths out loud and often, so that you accept that every penny you've spent was well spent, even if you would not spend a penny that way today. And every second you've ever lived was well lived, even if you would not choose to live a second that way today. Every book you've ever read, every word a teacher ever said was useful, especially if you disagree with it, because it made you think. And every person you've ever met enriched your life in some way, even if you would not choose to live a second with them today. Welcome to my world. In the world, according to Jackie, you get to make up the rules of your own world. So I invite you to come and play in my world. But more importantly, I invite you to come and support my mission. I'm on a mission to make teen suicide a thing of the past. A year ago, I stood on a TEDx stage. Last May, it was released. I want you to go watch it, comment on it, and share it. It has embedded in it the secret for stopping suicidal thoughts from getting stuck in someone's head. You will suicide-proof everyone that you send it to, and they won't even know what you're doing. It is a ninja mindset kind of thing. So you'll get another PDF. It looks like this. Yes, that is the elephant in the room. His name is Mayhem. Your belief systems are the elephant in the room. TamingTheElephantInTheRoom.com will get you to the Teen Suicide Prevention Society. There you can watch my TEDx talk. You can like, comment, and share it. There you can leave your reasons for staying. We want to know why you haven't taken yourself out, because the world is a pretty awful place. And the fact that you are still here is a miracle in and of itself. We want your reasons that you're still here. So we have a button at the top called Reasons for Staying. And if you've got 20 people who you would miss terribly if they were not in your life for any reason, we invite you to learn how to have the talk that stops suicidal thinking from getting stuck in someone's head, and you don't have to think that they're at risk. This is pure prevention. It is upstream. It is proactive. And all you do is invite them. Say, hey, I'm part of the mission to make teen suicide a thing of the past. They gave me a guide. I need to practice. Would you have 10 minutes tomorrow to help me practice my guide? If you are willing to say those things to the 20 people you would miss the most if they were not here, you have this simple 4-question guided talk. We wrote it all out for you. There is nothing left to chance. You do this with them and you will be building a buffer between them and an edge you may not have even known they were near. And I will guarantee you that if you can have this talk with them, the odds of you ever needing to talk them off a ledge go down. Thank you for being willing to go on this wild ride of a talk with me. I hope you grab the PDFs, and you'll notice on the blue one that has Mayhem the elephant, there's also a gift for you. There is the most powerful, positive, perpetual source of optimism, technology-based vision board on steroids. And it's my gift for you. And guess what the content is that you get for free forever? What's on here? It's called Leaving Shouldville. We made it into a vision board on steroids for you, thanks to an amazing partnership with that company. So thank you. In my world, things move pretty quickly. Remember that in your world, they move at your pace. Sanyika and I don't have to talk at the same pace. We're both on the same mission. We want you in the center of your own life. Who else is better qualified? Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So Jackie, I'm a adolescent psychiatrist, recovering. And unfortunately, not only have heard thousands of adolescents say that they were suicidal, but actually dealt with the completed suicides of a handful of adolescents and the impact that that left on people in their family and loved ones, other friends, even people who don't know them. Because when an adolescent commits suicide, it's the whole city and then the whole neighborhood and then the whole community. And sometimes, the ripple effect can go national very quick. Yeah.
May I offer you a reframe from what you just said for everyone listening to this?
Indeed.
Suicide stopped being a crime a long time ago. Our loved ones die by suicide, but they're not committing a crime. So we don't say commit anymore. We just say they died by suicide, the same way we would say they died by diabetes. And the reason we do that is because this dials down the stigma. It makes it easier for people to share if they're having suicidal thoughts or if they've lost someone to suicide. Because I will tell you, I walk into any networking group in person or online, and there is one in every room. There is one person in every room grieving the loss of someone they love to suicide, and one person in every room struggling to stay alive. So dialing down the stigma by changing our language to something neutral and natural. They didn't commit a crime. They just died by suicide.
Sure. Certainly, I absolutely accept that reframe. I see the value and the compassion that's inherent in that. The question I was going to point to speaks to the population of teenagers who are actively considering suicidal actions or who have been, let's say, intervened.
They survived.
They didn't actually do anything yet in many cases to, yes, go ahead.
I was going to say they survived suicidal ideation to this point. They survived the struggle with suicidal thinking. Mm-hmm. So at the moment, they're survivors. Whether they've actually attempted or not doesn't matter. They're still a survivor of the struggle in my world.
Well,
so you had a question for me, Dr. Fred, and I apologize for interrupting you.
Yeah, it is. I'm not sure what to do with the question. I guess what I'm saying is there's a subculture there. There's a subculture that actually creates itself amongst each other. Like you get to join a club once you become one who states out loud that that's something that's very interesting. And I've been the doctor in many of these clubs before, where there'll be 15 people who all declare that that's where they are or that's where they've been. what do you suggest might be something that we, either as parents or as friends of parents or as clinicians or as just open humans communicating effectively with these people, might want to do differently to make it so that those thoughts you say get stuck in their head? What would we do?
The first thing you would do is quit trying to get rid of those thoughts. Quit trying to take suicide as an option off the table. Have you ever tried to take a cell phone away from a 2-year-old? The minute you try to take suicide away as an option, guess what's going to happen? They are going to hang on to it and they're going to stop talking about it. So get yourself in a place. Learn some stress management techniques. I teach these all day, every day, always. How to create some muscle memory for a place of calm. Get yourself to a place of calm. Get yourself to a place of listening without judgment. Listen to Katie's podcast, where people can speak their truth without fear because we can listen without judgment. Be prepared to listen without judgment. Go to the Teen Suicide Prevention Society, get the talk that saves lives, learn to ask these 4 questions. And if you think that somebody's at risk and you want to have a conversation with them that just might make a difference, go to whynotworkbook.com. In all my 30 years, actually 40 years, as a stress management consultant, what I realized is the natural negative bias of the brain is discounted in everything that is taught about how to help people. So I wrote a little book that actually works with the natural negative bias of the brain. It's called the Why Not Workbook. And you start allowing them the space to speak their truth and to be heard. Because the one thing that Dr. Fred is acknowledging and always honest about, my speaking my true voice does not matter if there is no one willing to listen, if no one is willing to hear me. So the people in your life who you love, who are trying to speak up because they're struggling with suicidal thinking, if you can't get yourself to a place where they can be heard, they'll stop trying. And when it comes to suicide, what we know is silence is not golden. Silence is deadly.
Thank you.
Yeah, you ask me a question, you're going to get an answer.
I got it. No, it's really a passionate answer. And I think we all can feel, and not, look, you represent the passion of all of us. And it's a difficult issue. It's one you're taking on boldly, and I honor it through and through. It's not a faint topic to me, not something not a new one. And I really appreciate how you stepped in.
Thank you. And I'd like to echo something Senyika said. Senyika said, not enough people healing the world. Guys, the only reason I can speak up with my true voice is because 2 collisions had to happen in my world. The first is I was asked to take a TEDx stage on this talk, and my TEDx coach would not let me get away with telling a story that said, we were a normal middle-class American family, we were stable, and then my daughter tried to kill herself. That was my whole story. That was going to be it. That's all I was going to talk about in my TEDx talk. And then I was going to talk about how to solve the problem. He's like, you got to tell the story. So I told the story that I swore I would never tell. And what came out of that is the fact that in that moment, I realized that I was grateful that Ted did not release my talk for 4 months, because during those 4 months, I sold myself on the idea that nobody who wasn't in the room would ever hear it. And I could continue to play small and keep a secret and live in that place that said, I had screwed this up. Leaving Shouldville was not written for you. It was written for me. The other collision that had to happen is after TEDx, in their infinite wisdom, decided to release my talk. And then 3 weeks later, Ted picked it up, and now it was gaining 500 or 1,000 views a day. Along came Dr. Fred. And I realized that he was in my life to help me shift from revealing that secret about my guilt and shame around my middle daughter, not Katie, but her sister Stephanie, around her multiple suicide attempts, to shift from sharing that secret to where I am today, having no secrets. And when you have no secrets and you have no fear, then your true voice just shows up, guys. You don't have to work at it anymore. Thank you, Dr. Fred.
Amen. Thank you.